Meet Emo, a Christian wife and mom. For years, Emo struggled with feeling constantly exhausted and drained, juggling the demands of work, family, and household responsibilities. Stress from her job and the lack of time for self-care left her feeling depleted and mentally drained. Emo had little or no energy and easily tired out. Simple tasks like climbing a flight of stairs left her breathless and fatigued. Oh, she longed to spend quality time with her family, but her lack of energy and motivation made it challenging to engage fully in activities with her children. She often felt like she was not eating well, but was always unsure about the right way to eat. She often felt like she was either eating too little or eating too much. This only increased Emo's frustration. Amidst a busy schedule, she found herself constantly feeling not well rested as she barely sleeps for more than 5 hours at night. She just always felt less energized, less present, and less joyful in her role as a wife and mother. Now, meet another version of Emo 1 year later. She is fit, more energized, enjoys life more, is able to run flight of stairs with no problem, and is enjoying every aspect of her life. Her prayer life is way better than it used to be. She feels more purposeful. Now she's up and about and no longer sitting in a position or laying in bed for a long time due to tiredness. She no longer feels the need to always remain indoors as she now enjoys fun family time. Emo's kids are thrilled to now have a mom who can keep up with their energy level, and they cherish the moment they spend running, playing, and laughing together as a family. Hi friends, I'm Emo, the person you just learned about, and it is true. I used to be all of that. I used to be exhausted, fatigued. I had little or no energy to play with my kids. But by God's grace, all that has changed now, and I'll be sharing it all with you today in this video I titled Renewed Vitality in Christ, My Journey from Exhaustion to Energize. To succeed in this journey, you will need something I call the 3 G's, which I'll be explaining all through this video. After watching this video, you should be well equipped not only to begin this fitness and wellness journey, but to sustain it. On that note, let's begin with the first G I called get grace. When I first started on my wellness and fitness journey, I never asked for grace. I just said to myself, Emo, you need to go to the gym. But that really worked because again, the flesh is weak. Then I started replacing that with God. I need you to help me exercise today. I also stopped overthinking because that's what I do. I overthink and I plan these things in my head. Then I stopped overthinking. I stopped trying to analyze what I would do when I get to the gym or what I was going to, calculating things in my head. I just let Him lead the way, taking things day by day, minute by minute, not using my strength or understanding because they failed me a lot in the past. Matthew 26:41b says that the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. But you know what Philippians 4:13 says? I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And this has been my go-to verse. The changes were gradual, but I eventually started seeing them manifest physically, mentally, socially, and most importantly, spiritually. Now I am sharper. I am more spiritually in tune with the Holy Spirit. My prayer life is way better than it used to be. I am stronger. I am healthier. My skin is glowing. I lost some weight. I've got increased stamina. Now I have more energy to play with my kids. I have more energy for ministry. I'm pursuing my God-ordained purpose. Now we are going to be discussing the second G, which is get perspective. This is more like personalizing the journey. While the destination for every one of us may be to get fit, we want to be as healthy as we possibly can. How we get there may be different. When I started, I'd researched a lot about healthy living and fitness, and many of those researches I found very helpful. others I just found confusing. Eat this, don't eat this, exercise for 2 hours, drink 1 gallon of water, no, don't drink water, eat carbs, no, eat protein. It was all just too confusing. So to succeed in this, I knew I had to personalize the journey for me, with God leading the way, of course. Now, this next phase is going to entail some writing and some thinking, and I highly recommend you do this. And if you can, grab your pen and paper and write a few things down. In personalizing my wellness and fitness journey, I had to ask myself 3 questions, and I really encourage that you also ask yourself the same questions, but I'll go first so that you can understand how to do this. The first question I had to ask myself is, what exactly do I want from this? And for me, I found that it was not necessarily about losing weight alone. For me, I wanted to live healthily, I wanted to be fit, I wanted to be trim, I wanted my clothes to fit me better. I also wanted to have a lot of energy to play with my kids, my family. I wanted to be up and about. I wanted to have a better relationship with food. I wanted to understand my body. Most importantly, I wanted to serve God with my body. I want to live long and healthy to fulfill all the purpose God has created me for, to pursue God's calling on my life. So like I answered my own first question, I would also recommend that you answer the first question. What exactly do you want from this? What do you want from this? What do you want from being fit? What do you want from being well? Is it just to lose weight alone? What are the other things you'd like from this? Write it down. Let's move on to the second question. The second question I had to ask myself is, what were my main issues? And while introspecting, I realized that my primary issue was not necessarily food. Really, although I wanted to have a better relationship with food, I didn't really have much problem. I was just always too tired. I was always too exhausted. And my major issue was that I had little or no energy. Again, number 2, what are your main issues? Go ahead and write it down right now. Yours could be not having enough energy like mine was. Yours could be you want your clothes to fit better. Yours could be maybe you're battling one ailment or the other and you want to change in lifestyle so that you can be healthier. The third question I had to ask myself, which I would also recommend that you do the same for yourself, is, what are the root of your issues? Now, let me personalize this. The root of my issue back then was that I was overworking my body. I was not sleeping adequately. I was not exercising. And all this led to less energy and fatigue because I was working 3 to 4 times a week, 3 to 4 shifts. So I was working 12 to 13 hours, sometimes 12 to 13 hours every week. And this was disturbing my circadian rhythm. I was so stressed, juggling too many things, juggling school, family, ministry, working overtime. Working overtime burnt me out. Number 3, get knowledge. Get knowledge. Now, let's say this is my body. According to its original design, for it to be at its optimal best, the body has to move. Oh, this one doesn't move. We need to move, we need to exercise, we need to stay hydrated, we need to have adequate sleep, and the other things I'll be sharing in this video. This is the health principle. So let's begin with exercise. Now, many of us already know the benefits of exercising, but we often push it off. Well, I know I did for a long time. I'd always say things like, I have no time, I'm too tired, I don't have money to go to the gym at this time. Many of my friends would also say things like, yeah, I look silly at the gym and people will laugh at me, or I wish I could have somebody I can partner with, like an accountability partner that would make it easier. Many times my friends would say, yeah, it's going to be my new year resolution for year 2023, year 2022, and this is year 2024. It's all what we do. No one is being judged or blamed here. I remember one time when I started and I made up my mind that I was going to be very consistent, I was going to do it. But after about 2 weeks, or was it a month? After about a month, I just became very discouraged because I was not seeing any progress. Now, what had happened, I started exercising for the sake of losing weight, of course. And then I checked on the scale, and now I was expecting that I would have lost some weight after 1 month. I found out that I had added. So that was it. This is not working. I just stopped. When it comes to exercising, most times the first thing that comes to mind may be, going to the gym, lifting heavy weights. And while that may be one form of exercise, it's not the only form, it's not the only way. Now, the whole idea here is to keep our body in an active state at the early stages, or at least at the beginner stage. As a beginner, remember, it's the little things. Start with little things like taking a walk, a 5, 10, 20-minute walk around your neighborhood, or in your house if you're unable to go out. Anything, just start somewhere. It could be you standing on your feet to do things you'd normally sit down for. Stand to fold your laundries. Take the stairs multiple times in your house or at work. Do squats while brushing, lunges while cooking. Raise your calf while waiting. If you're working from home, you can get a standing desk and just stand while taking your calls or your meetings. Incorporate 10 to 20 minutes prayer walk or family walk. What I also did when I was a beginner was I started watching YouTube videos, and I started with beginners, beginners cardios, beginners Tabata, beginners heat, and I'll do 10 minutes full body. Sometimes I'm unable to do the whole 10 minutes. I remember when I first started, I'd just be able to do only 5 minutes, but that's okay, because the more I keep staying at being consistent, the stronger I get. And then when I go back the next day, I realize I'm able to do 7 minutes, and then I'm able to do 10 minutes, and I'm able to do 15 minutes. The whole idea is just keep pushing yourself, just keep going day by day, minute by minute, doing the best you can. Please note that you may not get a perfect time or a perfect place to exercise. When I first started, I'd say, I'd exercise every Tuesday and Thursday between 8 and 8:30. But then it's 8 and 8:30 and something comes up. My husband wants to do something, or my kids want to do something, and then events just overtake it and I'm unable to. So I had to start learning how to do my exercise whenever I see an opening. Like, I don't wait for a perfect moment or a perfect time. And even if I have scheduled my exercise for a time later in the day, whenever I see an opening, I just take it. The kids are playing soccer, with their dad in the backyard. I grab my weights and I just throw in 20 minutes, 30 minutes, or I'm cooking, I'm watching a movie or something. I just throw in 20, 30 minutes of exercise whenever I get the opportunity. Now we'll be discussing the second health practice that will be beneficial on our wellness and fitness journey, which is sleep. We all need rest, but the question is, do we get some? Well, not a lot. At least for me. Between the kids and school and church activities and social obligations and personal hustle and working night shift, the big culprit, working night shift, I hardly got any rest. I was getting an average of 4 or 5 or 6 hours. On good days, I get 6 hours of sleep, and I can absolutely tell you that is not good. The adult needs an average of 7 to 8 hours rest every night. Sleep deprivation will also cause things like long-term memory loss, abdominal fat. I used to have those, and I have so many of my night shifters. Shout out to my fellow night shifters. They've got abdominal fat because many times we're not sleeping, so we are overeating to stay awake, especially during night shift. And also because we're not sleeping, our metabolism is kind of discombobulated, and not sleeping also predisposes us to weight gain. In recent times, what I do to help me sleep better is to make sure and try at first to be determined to at least get 6 hours of sleep. And so what I do at night is I create a bedtime routine. I try to make sure that I do not have my phone 30 minutes to 1 hour, before bed, because of the screen and the blue light and the effects they have, on our eyes. And also I try to eat very light meals before bed, if at all. Many times I just try not to eat at all because sometimes it bothers me, but some people say it does not bother them to eat at all. And then what I also do is I try not to take coffee past 2 a.m. So it could be for you. If you're not a night shifter, try not to take coffee, once it's past 2 p.m. because, coffee's got stimulants, and stimulants can disturb your sleep. If you're a night shifter and you're watching this video, kindly leave in the comment section what has been helpful for you in terms of your sleep pattern. Third knowledge we'll need to get on our fitness and wellness journey is healthy eating. Now, this is one good food principle I learned over my course of fitness and wellness is to consume less calories than my body uses as energy. And if you want to know how much calories you've been consuming on the average, what you can do is you can take your weight and you can multiply it by 15. Now what that would do is it would tell you how much you have been consuming on a daily. Now if you wish to drop some weight or lose some weight, all you have to do is drop that calories by 20% or 30% or 40% or whatever it is that you desire. And other tips for healthier eating is to consume more proteins, like chicken breast, turkey breast, lean cut of beef, pork, shellfish, tuna, eggs, and more fibers. These days I try to include fiber into my daily meal, into my every meal. Even I may include things like spinach, like kale, like Swiss chard, because vegetables are very good and rich in fiber, and also vegetables are low in calories and they're very high in vitamins. There are other alternatives to soda, even healthier ones, like smoothies, fruit smoothies, vegetable smoothies, and I can tell you your body absolutely loves these ones because it's healthier, contains things like fructose, glucose, and some sucrose, and it also satisfies that sweet craving we search for in soda. And in getting knowledge, I would also encourage that we follow up and do regular checkups with our healthcare providers. As believers, there are 5 major time traps that hijack our time and our moment and causes us not to fulfill the purpose God has called us for. And I discussed that in this video. Please do make sure to look it up. And until next time when I come your way again, my name is Imo. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.